know what you're thinking. Should I subscribe to this channel? Should I not? And the answer is yes. You should subscribe to this channel and give it a 60-day free trial. But you know, I'm not taking your credit card, so a free trial.
So, we're rolling. I'm not going to waste any time. I have a co-host. His name is Jimmy Fallon from The Tonight Show.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide and the greatest driver.
Ronnie.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Ronnie
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Yes, always a few safety rules. So, in case of an emergency, or if you should happen to drop something overboard, there is an emergency board running right down the center of the trail. Funnel will stop for you as soon as we safely can. You want to remain seated. Keep your arms, your legs, your hands, your heads on the inside of the vehicle for your safety. There is no smoking during the tour or in the car. And remember, portions of the tour will include loud noises, exciting special effects and pyrotechnics, sudden trail movements, and the possibility of getting wet. Love it! Okay, so Universal is one of the oldest studios in Hollywood. We actually started making movies in New York City. What? Yeah. But the motion picture industry moved west. Why? Because of our weather. You can film 12 months out of the year. Our founder, Carl Lemley, purchased this lot. In 1915, we first became known for westerns. Then classic monster films like Frankenstein and Dracula. We became pioneers in television. Today we remain one of the world's biggest and busiest movie and television producing studios. Throughout our history, we have won 10 Academy Awards for Best Picture. We are 415 acres. We're our own city with our own bank, post office, hospital, sheriff's station, and we have our very own fire station. That's the building to the right. Fire Station 51 is a real live working fire station. It borrows its name from a fictional fire station. That's Squad 51 from the Universal television series Emergency that filmed here during the 70s. So we are about to cross over onto the actual studio property. Directly in front of us is Soundstage 12. It is our largest soundstage. This was where The Voice began its last incarnation. They have since moved to another soundstage. But over the years, some of the biggest sets of movie history have been created here, like Frankenstein's Lab, Dracula's Castle, Back to the Future. Several of the Fast and the Furious films have shot here. Now, the front lot traditionally is where we do the majority of our interior filming. We film on the insides of sound stages because they're 98% soundproof, that we have 100% control over the weather, lighting, noise factor, even the time of day. We have a lot going on the lot right now. Just toward our main entrance, Kelly Clarkson, also Jeff on The Voice, does her daily talk show here. So I want to interrupt myself for a moment. I want to touch back on the theme park. Take a look at the construction site to your right. You will be coming back to see us. How do I know? Because this is going to be Super Mario World. This will be a theme park expansion, so we'll see you as soon as this is done. Okay, I'll be here. So, what has been going on the lot? The stages to your left are being used for AP Bio and Saved by the Bell. Kids, ask your parents. During 2020, production was able to continue under the tightest of protocols for safety for the cast and crew. Shows like Good Girls, which films in Soundstage 21, which is over to your left, were able to continue shooting. Now, 21 has a very, very rich history. 13 here. Again, portions of Back to the Future were shot here, and the Blues Brothers. More recently, Mindy Kaling's show, The Mindy Project, shot here. And for those of you who are fans of the comedy Superstore, a part of the Cloud9 Superstore was located here in 21. That show just had its series finale about 4 or 6 weeks ago. Now, the funny thing about television, in its early days, most of the big studios, well, they didn't think television was going to last. They thought it was a fad. Can you believe that? Well, most said no thank you. Universal Studios embraced the new technology, and we became the world's largest producer of television shows. Classics like Leave It to Beaver, The Munsters, Columbo, McCloud, Macmillan and White, The $6 Million Man, The Bionic Woman, The A-Team, Magnum PI, Murder, She Wrote, Quantum Leap. The stages immediately to your right originally were built so they could bring in live studio audiences for shows like The Jeffersons, also done here. 44 is at the end of this row. It's currently being used by Good Girls, but if you're a fan of The Good Place, sorry, Ted Danson and Kristen Bell, this was one of their stages. And speaking of Ted, over to your left, I see another Ted coming up. Oh, kids, he's toasting us with his lemonade. Yeah, that's it. Let's see, also on the lot this season, Rutherford Falls, which you can see on Peacock, Mr. Mayor, also starring Ted Danson, and Keenan. Now, the bungalows that you see off to the left are once scattered all over the lot. Originally, these were dressing rooms for some of Hollywood's biggest stars. And going back to the golden age of Hollywood, Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Lana Turner, that space here. On occasion, a celebrity will have a production company, many actors and producers, and they will work with Universal until fairly recently. J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, had an office here when she was doing all the dance here. And just slightly ahead of us is bungalow 5195. For years, these were the offices of Sir Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense. Hitchcock's signature was putting himself into his film in cameo, usually right at the beginning of the film, so audiences wouldn't be looking for him throughout the entire film. For 10 seasons, Hitchcock was the executive producer of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, a television anthology series still airing today. So tell you what, I think we all could use a little adventure, right? I'd like to introduce you to a director who not too long ago brought a very big movie star back to the big screen. And when I say big, I mean the biggest.
It's the original King Kong that I'm amazing doing. So I saw that movie on TV when I was aged in I like films that just sweep up the beach. Kong literally does this. You're on board the ship, you're sailing to the Lost Island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Star Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Star Island.
You know, if you...
So now because he got out of the tram, the lights are on inside each thing.
Tell you what, we will not be moving the vehicle. We are calling for assistance.
I think there was a miscommunication because the gentleman dropped something and he picked it back up, but the driver thinks that it's an emergency, but it's not an emergency. So it looks like we're gonna be here for a while because I think they're gonna come back and check. It's that up there.
Okay, they are here. They should be inside the building momentarily. Thank you.
I think we just got the okay from a facilities guy to go ahead. So we're not going to be stuck here for an hour. That's good.
That was my first tour. What I kind of like is, over the years, some of our picture cars have become more famous than the actors who've driven them. But think about it, you might think, oh, how about Kit from the original Knight Rider series? For those of you who've been visiting us for a while, you used to be able to come into the park, sit in Kit, and have a conversation in a variety of languages. I've got some examples of some well-known picture cars. I want you to keep your cameras, your eyes over on the left-hand side. I mentioned Kit. I want to show you a Kit car, but this is from the Knight Rider reboot. Right next to it is a red Ferrari. This was the stunt car for the Magnum PI series that starred Tom Selleck. It's made out of fiberglass. We have several cars from Back to the Future. It's Ford. And then we have cars from the Flintstones films. These started out as golf carts. Two of the cars from the Fast and the Furious franchise. There are many, 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 many more. And my favorite is the gyrosphere from Jurassic World. So what's missing? The glass, the sphere. It was never there. That's the way it looked on set. The glass was computer generated. Why? Oh, I can give you lots of reasons. Let's start with glass means that there were reflections, there'll be flares of light. Remember, it rolled through the jungle. It would be hard to keep it clean. Think about human beings sitting in a glass bowl, especially under lights. It gets hot. Actors like to breathe. So it's just easier to do it with a computer. What you're looking at is a hollow shell. In fact, here it is on the left-hand side. This is made out of fiberglass and plywood. Needed to be light, so they could raise and lower it between takes. The cliff wasn't even a cliff, it was a parking structure. Ooh, hi guys! Get back to the ride. Make sure you see that today, by the way. The tree stumps and logs around us are made out of a very common building material. Styrofoam. From the woodwork block, it's hand carved by a sculptor, painted and taken to the set. The moss isn't even real moss. It's fiberglass, or it's sawdust, painted green and applied with carpenter's glue. Now the Jurassic Park films had a few things in common. There were dinosaurs. Okay, that's a given. But think about it. Usually whenever that T-Rex showed up, it was raining. Rain creates tension, it creates suspense. And if you're a filmmaker and you want rain for your production, good luck. Hey, it never rains in Southern California, okay? You're here on a good day. Let me give you an example of how a filmmaker would create rain on a set. There's a crew testing some effects for production that will be in here later in the week. Okay, there we go. Thunder. Another rarity here. That's just pre-recorded sound effect. The lightning is theatrical artillery. And how do we create rain? A high-tech special effect is called a sprinkler. Now the water is sprayed up so the rain will fall naturally. In reality, it's a pretty easy special effect. This way you can also put the rain just where you need it so your cameras will don't get wet. And I really wish they kept that off. We're in the middle of the desert. If you get too much rain in the desert, you know what can happen, don't you? Some of you are shaking your heads. You run the risk of flash flooding. I keep my eyes and cameras on the top of that hill if I were you. Gallons of water from tanks at the top of the hill. Don't worry, the water is now being recycled to the top of the hill. You might remember this effect from our film, Big Fat Liar. You can't outrun the wolf, kid! You're looking at that Okay, this is Old Mexico. For those of you who've been watching HBO's Westworld, Season 1, Episode 5, this was the town of Toraya. Now we're going to cross back stateside into 6 Points, Texas. 6 Points is one of the oldest, most historic, and believe it or not, it has been one of the most filmed areas in Hollywood history. 2 recent productions. 45 minutes of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And right here, and then the remake of Cold Wild with Harrison Ford, it begins in an Alaskan gold rush town that was right here in 6 Points, Texas. Over the years, though, some of Hollywood's greatest cowboys have walked these streets. As we leave 6 Points, directly in front of us, you're going to see a man-made lake. It has been here for decades. If any of you have seen the cult classic, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, here's the Amazon River. If any of you remember the TV series McHale's Navy or Miss Borgnine, Tim Conway, this was the closest to the Pacific Ocean that PT-103 ever got. Tell you what, we are just about meeting the halfway point of this one. Just a quick reminder. Please remain seated. Keep your arms, your legs, your hands, your heads on the inside of the vehicle. Parents, please supervise your children. And again, as you saw before, there is an emergency cord running down the center of the trail. Paul and I will be back as safely as I can. Now, where are my Good Place fans? And in a rear view. Little Europe is directly in front of us. Little Europe for 4 seasons was the Good Place. This was also where many of the Universal monsters made some of their earliest screen appearances. Now, Soundstage number 50 for years was the only soundstage on our back lot. It's unique in that it is the only stage that has a permanent interior set. So this is our subway station. There's a closure coming in this Tuesday. It takes place in San Francisco, I can tell because I'm reading the signage around this simple as that. Now before an actor steps foot on this set, hang on. post-50 one experience the simulation of an 8.3 tumbler. And it looks like only because if you are a filmmaker, you can use this for your movie or TV show. A few years ago, Fox's Bones was here, filming episode for the episode Bones and the Blue Line. It's going on. Look familiar? And just like that, we have driven 300 miles. We have reached New England and the hometown of Cabot, Maine. You remember Cabot, Maine was used in Murder, She Wrote. Amity Island was where they had a shark problem in a film called Jaws. Looks like history is repeating itself. What's that diver doing out there? Freddie, you might want to get back to the boat. I'll start playing with the shark. Oh guys, he's fine. He's fine. Nothing to worry about this. Clear the area. Ronnie, let's get out of here. We've been filming. It's outside for, I don't know, minutes at least. We've made it that yellow floor out there, and I know that one day that shark is going to be great. Okay. We've got the pier. Is that gasoline spewing all over here? Yes it is. It's a little close for you, Will. Can we cut that off? Oh, come on. Really? Wait, where's the shark? Bruce is the only shark in the world that does the backstroke. And I'm calling him Bruce because that's what Steven Spielberg named his mechanical shark. He named him Bruce after one of his lawyers. True story, I am not making that up. Ruth Raymer, they're still friends today. Now believe it or not, that shark was far more reliable than the shark that was used in the original film Jaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark is frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio beeps. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited around. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark worked well enough for a while there in bases all night. So like we owe the shark a lot.
For 12 very successful seasons, this area also became Cabot, Maine, and the CBS series Murder, She Wrote. To your left is Elm Street. Look at the gold house green roof at the end of the street. That was seen in the film To Kill a Mockingbird. It was Boo Radley's house. The film star Gregory Peck, he won an Academy Award for his performance in that film. We have a couple of residential streets on the lot. Today we're going to drive down probably the most well-known of all of them. Here on the lot we call it Colonial Street. You might know it better as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. Literally hundreds of productions have been done here. Let me give you a quick tour of the neighborhood. Beige house to your left. Gabrielle Solis, played by Eva Longoria. Bob and Lee lived in the purple house, which was also 1313 Mockingbird Lane in the original Monster series. The yellow and stone house was Susan's house. Terry Hatcher, you can currently see it in Never Have I Ever, Mindy Kaling's project. Lynette Scavo, Felicity Huffman, lived in the next house with the red door. If you saw the series finale of Superstore, the picnic at the end of that episode was done in the backyard. Edie Britt, played by Nicolette Sheridan, lived in the house in the corner. It's unrecognizable. We got a makeover for a new production. I'm pointing it out because this house is the only house on the street that has a usable interior as well as an exterior. It's practical. The other houses here on the street are shells, four walls, nothing inside, or there are a few facades, just the fronts and the sides of the structure. Lynette Scavo's house, back over on your right with the red door. If you open the front door, you're basically stepping into dirt, and there's a tree growing where the living room should be. The beige house was where Mike the plumber lived on Desperate Housewives, but it was also seen in a series of Ace Hardware commercials. The yellow of the green and stone house, Mary Alice Young, the narrator of Desperate Housewives. This is a replica of the Leave It to Beaver house. I was a big fan of Desperate Housewives. This will always be Wisteria Lane to me.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
For example, that red double-decker bus, you see that go through the back of a shop, you know immediately that you are in London, England. There's another car, first row, the beige car, the very old car, that's a Duesenberg. At the time, a very expensive car. This was used in The Money Returns with Brendan Fraser. This was built by a company in the UK that recreates classic cars for the motion picture industry. This car could actually do stunt work. You would not want to do that with a real Duesenberg. Now there is one set on the lot, well two actually, that I consider iconic. Here we have the Psycho house and the Bates Motel, both from Hitchcock's thriller, Psycho. Now Psycho was the film where Janet Leigh had the famous shower scene. There's a lot of blood involved in that scene. It wasn't movie blood or real blood. Remember the original Psycho was filmed in black and white. Real blood, movie blood would read gray on the screen. So the filmmakers just substituted chocolate syrup. Same color and consistency of real blood on black and white film. 35 gallons of chocolate syrup were used in the making of the shower scene. The house is a shell, four walls, nothing inside. Excuse me, do say hello to Mother Babe, she's right upstairs. And dear, you're looking lovely. It is a New Jersey craft site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. You're looking at a real 747 that was purchased for and that was made specifically for the film. The plane cost of production $60,000, but it cost over $200,000 to over there. Here's Steven Spielberg in the product.
The airplane crash site is a perfect example of a set which all designed around the vision of
And so, yeah, you can sit down and talk about War of the World. But I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood?
because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep facing me. Doesn't make a difference as long as you're pushing us, okay? You need to stand close. Let me get in. Get in.
By the way, that scene was about 4 minutes long. All of this for 4 minutes of film. Tell you what, we are about 10 minutes from the end of our tour. Again, a quick reminder, remain seated. Keep your arms, your legs on the inside of the vehicle for your safety. Make sure you hold on to your personal belongings. We are going to go around the corner, and we're going to be in front of Falls Lake. Okay, there's no lake in the lake today. It's been drained for regular maintenance. But you've seen it as large bodies of water in multiple productions, including Clint Eastwood's film, Sully.
Evacuate.
So the Miracle and the Hudson was recreated here at Falls Lake. Clint Eastwood purchased his Airbus 320 from the same airliner graveyard where Steven Spielberg purchased his 747. It was brought here in pieces. A scaffolding was built on the floor of the lake. The plane was put onto the scaffolding. The lake was filled with water, and it looked like a realistic recreation. Okay, I didn't want to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Apparently, one of you, I don't want to know who, is a witness in the witness protection program. The bad guy who's been looking for you, he's on the property. So don't worry, we got you. We have been asked to hide out in Sullivan's Garage. It's a known street racer hangout. Wow, look at those cars. Really cool. I only wish that there was someone here to tell us what's happening, tell us what to do, where to go. What's the info? Wow. He's looking up. Whoa.
Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. Looking forward to Fast 9 coming in June. Yes! So I'll tell you what it looks like. We are approaching the end of our time together on the screen. Just a quick summary of some of the films Universal has made over the decades. When you go into the park, don't forget to check out The Secret Life of Pets, our newest ride. It is adorable. Check out Jurassic World. You will get wet. I can't stress that enough. It's gotta feel great today. If you're interested in seeing any of the movies or TV shows that I talked about today, please check any of our retail stores or check out www.weht.com. You have been a fantastic audience on behalf of Ronnie, myself, all of us here at Universal. Thanks for joining us on the world famous studio tour. And just as a quick reminder, as you return to the park, please follow team members' instructions closely when you board and disembark rides and enjoy their attractions. Remember to practice social distancing, use your face coverings correctly, and it's always a good idea to wash your hands and use your hand sanitizer frequently throughout the day. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.